Yeah, I mean, do you have any advice for what modern musicians
for
should
like 5
focus
days
on?
about this. I could talk for so long.
Awesome.
No,
5 days and 5 points.
maybe you're aware of my artist, which then became my fiance, Bella Kelly. We
Congratulations.
with her, we tried
That's
to
awesome,
do we tried to do the most difficult thing in the world, which is breaking an artist to fame, so to speak, to the market. Let's put it this way: she doesn't care at all about fame and glory. Completely independent and without having any connection. That's the other thing. I'm not an industry insider. I was never an industry insider. I didn't have like connections or friends or whatever. I was, in a shitty ass little tiny town in Europe, and that's it. All I've done it with sweat and blood and elbows. So from that point, I mean, a lot of experience, yeah, but other than that, I didn't have, friends in that sense. And so I've been through a lot of meetings for her, and I've seen how the market changed from when I was in to now. And I had a kind of a chat with a bunch of like, I'm trying to understand what I can and I can't say. So if I'm stuttering, that's why. But I tried.
No, it's okay.
I had several chats with people in the A&R world on several labels, and they've been clear to me. They've been very clear. They not that I didn't know this already, but coming from the people who told me this, it was kind of like, on one hand, depressing, on one hand, kind of a good news. I'll explain why. But he or she told me, labels don't build anymore. They haven't been building for a long time. They come to you. You don't come to the label. Everybody was, back in the years, was like sending demos to the label. They don't care. Just don't do that, Besides few probably independents or something. We're talking about major. They come to you. So one specific label a long time ago started the trend of signing artists based on data. How's your following? How much you have on Spotify? How much you have on YouTube? How much you have on TikTok? And one specific label started this, and it was very successful at first. And so they started signing artists based on, do you already have a fan base? Do you already making money? They look at you as a small business. And if your small business is already making money, they can invest into it. Invest, it's another big word. That's why I said like every it's another thing. That's basically what it is. It's, I don't want to say impossible, because who am I to say that? But it's very rare that a label or a good deal with a label, because a label and a good deal with a label are two different things, will come to you just because how amazing. If you have 10 followers and you are the best artist in the world, most likely you ain't gonna get signed. If you are a dancing monkey on TikTok or whatever platform, and you have 5 million or 10 million followers, I promise you, they will knock at your door. Because
wow, dude,
we've seen this. We've seen people even turning into singers when they were not singer at all, like people who are entertainers or whatever the fuck it is, or literally dancing
entertaining.
Monkeys. Like, oh, I'm coming out with a single now, and you go like, wait, what? Like, you never sing in your fucking entire life. How do you come in? Oh, right, there's all, and producers that But why? Because
what was the term? Video killed the radio star.
yeah, exactly, right. So they already have an audience, right? So the label doesn't really have to do much promotion or spend into promotion, which is the most expensive aspect for an artist, right? Promotion.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of laugh when people say like, oh, let's say $2,000 for the engineer is too much. And I'm like, you don't have $2,000 for the engineers. So what are you going to do for promotion when you need 20 to even make a dance? What are you doing?
Wow, dude.
Like, that's why it's like, oh, this plugin is like so expensive. It's $100. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, okay, maybe this is not the world for you. Like, try to get into sports car and see how 20 grand, it's a little like, you know, it's like perspective. But anyway,
yeah, man.
They sign these personalities that they already have fame, or they are popular, or they're known, because they already have 10 million people to sell things to.
Mhm.
You know, and without doing promotion. And you know, even if 10% of that audience buys your music, that's already a big ass number for a starting artist. You know, and then they decide if people don't like it, which most likely is the case, they will drop them the next 3 months, you know, and they will get the next one, because there's many of them. And if they will try to push you, and you see that people don't like it, you know, and they keep pushing and pushing. You know, we've seen this before, especially in the pop industry. They push and push and push artists. You can't fathom, like, why are they there? Like, they genuinely suck ass, right? And they are everywhere. Interviews and forced features and forced, you know, appearances on festival and stuff, and TV show, red carpet when they don't even belong. And you say, like, why is this happening? That's why it's happening. They are trying to either make the money back, what they invested in promotion, and they will do that until they got the money back, or they are somewhat, you know, someone that knows someone in the industry, and they are being pushed to that reason. And but yeah, either it works and they make some money, or they drop you and they go to the next one. For the independent artist that wants, you know, that wants to try to break in the market as independent. First of all, let me say this. I think that this is the best moment to break up as an independent. By far. We have never been in a moment this open, in a time this open between, I know everybody hates TikTok. I hate TikTok, but TikTok fucking works. It is a great chance. It is a great window for people. Like, we've seen Deftones coming back, like, on the top of the charts because of TikTok. That's not a label move. I don't remember the name of the Sleep Token became huge almost overnight because of that, right? So that's proof that it is possible, and it was never possible before. I promise you, even in the CD era, you couldn't even put your music out at all. The downside is that now everybody with a laptop releases music every other day, so there's such a ridiculous amount of, there's little demand, too little demand, and too much offer in the music right now, because everybody wants to be a superstar, right? And unfortunately, that's what makes it almost impossible, because yes, Sleep Token, you know, became huge because of TikTok. There's another metal band that did a cover of a Minecraft song, and overnight they had like 1 million listeners on Spotify. That's true. That's not a label move. You can recognize the label moves from the organic growth, even if it's overnight success like that, right? Because going viral is still a possibility. What makes it borderline impossible is that everybody's trying to do it. And so there's only one door, you know.
One question to that, David. Do you think it's best for artists to not really focus on trying to get big per se, but maybe to focus on just building their own audience that we talked about personality earlier, that likes the way they present things and it gives value and that sort of thing? Then, you know, it goes back, I guess, Ken, to the 1,000 super fan book that we read. You know, 1,000 fans, and that's not a lot of people. That's minimal, right? If they're paying you $100 a year on any product, I mean, there's your 6-figure income, right? So maybe it's best for artists not to worry about shooting for the moon, that sort of thing, but kind of just catering to your small niche.
100%. 100%. It's think about that. It's logical, but people many times don't see it. It's much better to have 1,000 paying fans than to have 10 millions. They're not giving you $1. you know.
Wow.
But a lot of people want the numbers for bragging rights. I have more than you, right? I am like higher in this one. It's a dick contest, and it's the stupidest thing ever, because labels feed on it when they sign the contract, when they do their deals and everything. A lot of labels now, they go to artists who wouldn't even need them. But you're going to go on this magazine, you're going to go on that magazine, which is true. You won't ever go on certain outlets without the major. That's their power. You won't go on certain outlets. You won't play on certain places. You won't go on radio that much. You won't go there's so many things that are gated. If you're not with a major label, you're not going to go there. But who gives a fuck? That's what I'm always like, that's what I don't understand. Like, people would rather be famous than rich, right? Like, who cares about the fame and the glory? It actually is a pain in the ass. Like, if you ever been, like, even around people that are like that, like, dude, you can go anywhere. Like, it's besides the point. That's the one thing. It's much better to understand who your audience is, talk to them, as opposed to be standoffish. Like, I'm a superstar, I'm not a respond. Like, I'm so busy, I'm not a respond comments. Bitch, shut up. Like, it's not true. Like, there's this pose online, and like, everybody's a rock star and everybody's a superstar. Like, no, be humble. Connect with your audience is the best way to do it. And by connecting with your audience, it doesn't mean you have to broadcast your life 24/7. It means tell them what's behind your song. What's the story? What were you feeling? What moved you to write this song? Talk about the songwriting process. Like, engage with them in what most important is, be yourself, right? So Bella is an extremely introvert person. Is a super happy girl, but she's very introvert. She's not a person that's gonna go on TikTok and do dances and do all upbeat live streams, because that's also not what she writes about. She writes about heartbreaks and crushing souls, emotions. Like, I went yesterday to a friend, Universal Music Group for Sync. Dude, this guy's my age. He almost tear up listening to Goodbye. And I was like, dude, you're okay? And he looked at me and he was like, dude, she's crushing souls with this lyrics. I was like, dude, I know, trust me. I had to take breaks when I was mixing this shit. Yeah. So, like, it would be completely like, you can't always follow the trends of what you think it works, is like being like super happy and upbeat. If you're not like that, don't do it. That's not you.
Don't do it.
A good example.
I like that.
Happened recently. So I work with, and I'm friend with Ryan Shuck. Shout out. And Ryan Shuck and Amir Darak, ex-Orgy. Now they are in Julian K. We just did a Indiegogo campaign, right? But they didn't wake up in the morning and say like, "Oh, let's do an Indiegogo campaign. Let's see if fans finance this." No, they started building from the pandemic lockdown.
Wow.
Right? And
holy crap!
They started building their Patreon. They started doing live stream almost every day. They are right now one of the best examples of how to engage with your audience and tell them the story of the new album. Why are you doing it? How you're doing it? Get them involved. Cool. And then these guys, in one day, they made, I think, 25K in one day. In one day. And Julian K are big. They're big artists. But we're not talking about like, I don't know, Nicki Minaj, Billboard top. Like, if she could do something like this without any effort. These guys work hella hard. And I know because Ryan, during the lockdown, he called me and we were working together. He called me like during the lockdown and was like, dude, I woke up, my 2 tours got canceled. My restaurant got closed. My Airbnb got closed. Like, everything was like, he woke up overnight and was like, because of the lockdown, all his businesses, even as a smart guy, as he invested in different things, he was like, what the hell? And I was like, he was asking me like, can you, help me out? Like, maybe do something online and stuff. And so we sat down for a minute and, I helped him out. with this. I gave him like some advice to how to, do what platform to pick, and he already had a quite loyal following on Patreon, which he opened before I told him what to do. But we're talking about 600 people, not 60,000 people, not 6 million. That shows you how, if you stop giving a flying rat's ass about the numbers and the dick contest of who's got, more numbers on social media, and you actually focus on, building your audience, you can once make money, which means make a living doing what you like, which is the biggest blessing in the world.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be happier. Like, I wake up in the morning, and what is my job? Music, doing this, turning knobs. That's amazing. Like, I don't.
That's incredible.
Else,
So
incredible.
Yeah.
So
that's everything else doesn't matter. That's the numbers are monopoly money. Everybody knows that everybody buys streaming on Spotify and all that. You want confirmation? People don't know this. Go on Spotify to your favorite artist, go down to the name, click on the bio, right? And when you click on the bio, which nobody does, right? Click on the bio and see where the streaming are coming from. I promise you, they come from fucking India, Thailand, and all the farm bots. And we're talking about top 20, 30. Everybody do it to some extent. I've only seen a couple of people. Like, I think Travis Scott was one of the few that had like New York, LA, Chicago, Detroit. That's it. Everybody else, Taylor Swift, you name it, all the others, they all come from a couple of bot farm in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Hey, it's Jason here with Metal Mastermind. We hope you enjoyed this clip of one of our recent podcast episodes and hope you got some value out of that. Now, speaking of value, we have more resources for rock and metal musicians in the description of this video, so be sure to check those out. And if this video helped you, please give it a like and make sure you're subscribed to the Metal Mastermind channel. We'll see you on the next video. Until then, create your own sound.